Like with last week's video, if there's enough interest in the concept, I can do another video about what I think would have happened if Dende and Goku fused permanently. This scenario begins right after Super Buu absorbs Gohan. Goku is debating on who to toss the Potara earring to, and normally he decided on Hercule before Vegeta arrived. So, in this case, there must be two changes. For the first change, Vegeta arrives too late for Goku to decide to fuse with him, and for the second change, Goku chooses to fuse with Dende instead of Hercule. The only possible reason Goku would choose Dende over Hercule because in the manga, Goku mentioned how he was worried that fusing with Hercule might make him weaker. Though in the manga, he never stated why he was worried about fusing with Dende, but in the anime he mentioned it's because they still needed the Dragon Balls. Though Goku would also know about the Namekian Dragon Balls, so for the sake of this scenario, I'm going to say that he decides that saving the Earth is more important than the Earth's Dragon Balls. Since Vegeta is running late in this scenario, Goku tosses the earring to Dende and explains how to use it. After they both put on the Potara earrings, they fuse into Denku, but shortly after they fuse, that's when Vegeta and Fortune Teller Baba would arrive on the Earth. Now, before I get into the fight between Denku and Buhan, there's two things to discuss about this fusion, his personality and his power. I'll start by discussing what I think Denku's personality would be like. Dende is a gentle, soft-spoken, peaceful, and very relaxed person, though he is also willing to risk himself to do the right thing. Denku would get Goku's cheerfulness and easygoing nature, along with his ingenuity and creativity. This fusion would also get Dende's peaceful and relaxed nature as well. Dende's relaxed nature in combination with Goku's easygoing nature would make Denku a very laid-back and carefree fusion. Thankfully, though, since Dende was willing to put his life on the line to protect his people or planet, and Goku can be serious when he needs to be, this fusion would hit his serious side, too. Power-wise, at first glance, Dende doesn't seem like he would make this fusion much stronger. However, after looking further into some of the statements in the series, I think this fusion would be stronger than what many people think it would be. In the series, it was implied that the Dragon Balls are as strong as their creator, or in Dende's case, they're as strong as the planet's Guardian. As Guardian, Dende was able to upgrade the Dragon Balls so that they were more powerful than what they were when Kami was the Guardian. Now, we're never given a specific power level for Dende, but we are for Kami. In an issue of Weekly Jump, Kami was mentioned to have a power level of 220. Then in the movie pamphlet for Dragon Ball Z, The Tree of Might, Kami was stated to have a power level of 400. As for how strong Potara fusions are, the Super Exciting Guide mentioned that the two fusees' power levels are multiplied together. So, at the bare minimum, that makes the base Denku anywhere from 220 to 400 times Goku's power level. Since fusions can use forms that only one of their fusees have, Denku could theoretically go Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, or Super Saiyan 3. This, of course, means that the fusion would be even stronger when they transform into one of the Super Saiyan forms. They're still nowhere near as strong as a fusion like Vegeta is, but they're also stronger than I originally thought they would be. Another thing to mention is that when Dende became the Guardian of Earth, he obtained God Ki. We don't know how fusions of someone with God Ki and someone without God Ki works, but I think Denku would have God Ki like how Dende does. Now, onto the fight between Denku and Buhan. Denku wouldn't be close to Buhan in power, but he would still have enough power to put up a good fight, especially if he uses techniques like stretching his limbs. He could use it as something to momentarily hold Buhan in place while he gets hits on him. Something he also might be able to do is heal himself, since Dende has the power to heal. Though it was never mentioned if Dende could use that power on himself or not, so Denku being able to heal himself is up in the air. Also, assuming that Dende learned some of the techniques Kami knew in his training to be the Guardian, Denku would be able to use those techniques as well. Eventually, they'd still let themselves be absorbed by Buhan, so that they could try to rescue the heroes. Once inside of Buu, they still defuse into Dende and Goku, but Dende doesn't destroy the earring like Vegeta did. He would listen to Goku about it since they might be able to refuse once they exit Buu. After all, Goku just thought it was the nasty air inside of Buu that split them apart. Meanwhile, outside of Buu, Vegeta would try his luck at fighting Buhan, though even as a Super Saiyan 2, this doesn't do much to Buu. It does, however, serve as enough of a distraction to allow Goku to cut out the heroes from within Buu. After he cuts out the heroes, he would still decide to try and cut out good Buu, without Buu being under Body's control. Because of Hercule's good influence on Buu, Goku believed Buu could still be a good person. Also, since Super Buu is distracted with fighting Vegeta, a miniature version of Super Buu doesn't appear inside of himself to be able to stop Goku. Once good Buu is cut free, Goku and Dende grab him in the heroes as they escape from Buu. Vegeta was knocked back into his base form, but after good Buu was cut out, he began to scream as he stopped fighting. Since Goku and Dende still had the Potara earrings on, they fused into Denku not long after they exit Buu. Also, since Super Buu began his transformation into Kid Buu, Denku has enough time to hide the now freed heroes, so they aren't absorbed. As usual, Super Buu would turn into Buff Buu at first, though he then continues to transform as he then becomes Kid Buu. He then tried to blast the Earth, but Vegeta would turn into a Super Saiyan and blast it away. Then when Kid Buu uses his planet burst, Denku teleports in the way and spots it to the side. Even though Denku couldn't do much to Super Buu, he would easily be able to beat down Kid Buu. Thankfully, this would be able to counteract Kid Buu's chaotic nature, as he doesn't really get many chances to just attack randomly as he normally would. Denku would quickly get ready to finish off Kid Buu, as he was being serious in this fight after seeing him try to destroy the Earth twice. After all, both the Dende side and Goku side of the fusion would want to protect the Earth, especially the Dende side since he is still the guardian of the planet. Regardless, Denku would charge up the Divine Kamehameha, and it would be enough to defeat Buu by disintegrating him. Before Kid Buu is killed, however, since Goku still believes Buu can be a good person, and since Dende has a peaceful nature, Denku makes a wish for Kid Buu to come back as someone good someday. After Kid Buu was killed, Denku would defuse back into Goku and Dende. When the Namekians get in contact with them, Vegeta still makes a wish for everyone that wasn't evil killed after the day of the World Martial Arts Tournament to be revived. Though they don't have a use for the other two wishes, so Vegeta tells them to do whatever they want with them. Vegeta would still try to kill good Buu, but Hercule would convince him not to with the help of Goku. The Boo Saga then ends mostly the same, with everyone regrouping on the lookout after the defeat of Buu. Though there is one thing that could make a major difference. As Denku, Goku would notice the God Key they had, and since he doesn't have access to that, he would ask Kibito Kai about what that was, since they're still fused. Of course, he would explain to Goku what God Key is. Then knowing Goku, he would ask if anyone can obtain it, which Kibito Kai would know about how mortals can become things like the God of Destruction, so it is possible for mortals to obtain God Key, so he would tell Goku it is, it would just take intense training to do so. Goku would be fine with that, though, so he'd ask to train with the Supreme Kai. He would agree to train him, but before they leave, I think Vegeta might interrupt them. He just got to see Goku again after all these years, and they still haven't had the chance to have a full fight, since the whole crisis with Buu interrupted them. So he would demand to be trained as well, so that he could get to fight Goku again, which, at the persistence of both him and Goku, I think Kibito Kai would agree to this, so he then teleports them both to the sacred world of the Kai. While training with Kibito Kai, they might learn techniques like the Kai since it would be an improved version of instant transmission, though it might be harder for Vegeta to learn it than it is Goku, since at this time, Vegeta doesn't know the instant transmission. They also might learn magic techniques from him, as the Kai do have access to magical abilities, not just Ki. Regardless, the main thing they would learn in this training has to do with God Ki. Since that is their goal, they would work towards tapping into it. When they eventually manage to channel God Ki, they unlock an unknown transformation. Of course, we know this to be the Super Saiyan God transformation, but they wouldn't know that's the name of it. I could see them even calling it Super Saiyan 4 for the time being. Regardless, they would continue training with the Kais up until Beerus wakes up. When he awakes, he would receive interesting news from Whis after he asks about the Saiyans. There are two Saiyans training with the Supreme Kai. Whis doesn't know if they are Super Saiyan gods, but he knows they're Saiyans that became Super Saiyans and are training with the gods, so it's worth checking out. So, he and Whis would start to head towards the sacred world of the Kai. Of course, Kibito Kai and Elder Kai would try everything in their power to stop Goku from meeting Beerus. Even Vegeta might try to help them, since he knows how terrifying and powerful Beerus is. By the time Beerus arrives, Vegeta would try keeping Goku hidden, which could cause him to get into a squabble. Regardless, Beerus would know they are there anyway, so he tells them to come out. Now, when Beerus asks them about the Super Saiyan God, they figure that's the form they unlocked by training with Kibito Kai. After all, they did have to channel God Ki to unlock it, so from this point on, they would no longer call it Super Saiyan 4. They'd start to call it Super Saiyan God instead. Though, since Vegeta knows how terrifying Beerus can be, Goku would still step up to fight him first. Which, in all honesty, while Goku would be stronger than he usually was in Battle of Gods, it wouldn't be enough to defeat Beerus. Once Goku is defeated, though, Vegeta would try to take on Beerus, just because the fight between Goku and Beerus got a Saiyan side itching for a fight like that. Though, just like Goku's fight against Beerus, Vegeta would lose as well, even though he was a Super Saiyan God, too. After this, Beerus and Whis would return to their planet, since not only has Beerus found a Super Saiyan God like he wanted to, but he also found two of them. In all honesty, the timeline from here on out mostly reconvenes with the regular Dragon Ball Super timeline. Sure, they have some different techniques, such as some basic magic and the Kai at their disposal now, but it doesn't change a lot. Plot-wise, all the sagas in Dragon Ball Super would remain relatively the same. The fights would just be minorly different because of these techniques. I guess the only notable difference is that when Goku and Vegeta fused in the Goku Black Saga, this would be the first time they ever fused. Also, since Denku stated the wish for Kid Buu to come back, nothing changes with Oob either. So, the Moro Saga and the end of Z doesn't change at all, since Oob was still born.